This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
You all ready for this? Dun 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 dun. No.
Y'all, just stop.
This is a sham.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Yeah. Hump day.
Hump day and the first day of Lent.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are you giving up?
I'm giving up cheese.
Oh, that's hard.
It's a big one for me.
I don't think people realize what a big deal. That's like almost with air.
Yeah.
Like that's a big deal.
Here's my biggest dilemma. I have some nice cheese in my fridge. Jordan's not going to eat it, and I just have to watch it.
Bring it to us.
Did you want it?
Yeah. Of course, we're lactose. We'll eat it.
Perfect. We'll be eating cheese tomorrow.
Lactose, we'll eat it.
We do.
Okay.
All right. So speaking of doesn't make sense, let's get to our stories. Stars walked the red carpet for the New York premiere of The Batman. Robert Pattinson looked dapper in this long black trench coat. And Zoe Kravitz took a page from her Catwoman character in this Oscar de la Renta gown. But everyone is talking about her stepdad, Jason Momoa, who came out in support with his two kids that he shares with his estranged wife, Lisa Bonet. He told Entertainment Tonight that Lisa couldn't be there, but he and Lisa are still, quote, family. Jason and Lisa announced their split back in January, but lately there have been rumors that the two are kind of working things out. Love is in the air.
I said the romance.
Oh, yeah, you did kind of.
Love powder.
See what happens? You get in my subconscious.
Powder.
But I mean, I think this is what a modern relationship looks like. I think that a lot of people were kind of, led astray when you're told about what a relationship is in the movies. Like you guys meet, you fall in love, he gets on one knee in front of your family, and then nothing happens until you guys pass away at 99 years old. And a lot of times, there's like a 2-year period where y'all don't know. And there's a 3-year period where everything is great. And then there's a 6-month period where your kids go to college and you guys don't know how to interact. So I like that they're showing, the real dynamics of a relationship, even though it's not always pretty. Copy?
I think the most important word in that, what he said was family.
Right.
I mean, they share kids. They have been a family for quite some time. That doesn't just go away just because the romantic or marital aspect of your relationship may be on pause or over with. So I think that's also a really great example of how that works in a modern situation.
I just want Momoa of this.
I like that.
How long were you working on that?
Like right when Al started talking.
She hasn't heard a word anybody said.
No, again, this is what we're seeing is more modern takes on this. And, Modern Family, the ABC show, and they were showing you that it's an integrated, different type of family. We're seeing that play out in real time, so it's excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
I like it. I like that they're using the example, right? Because when you say divorce, you think negative, right? And this doesn't always have to be.
Doesn't have to be.
I was going to pun you, but I'll save it for later.
Oh, good.
Lindsay Lohan, and it's not Lohan, by the way. Did you know it's Lindsay Lohan?
I just learned that.
I just learned that. Way to go, entertainment show. Lindsay Lohan is expanding her relationship with Netflix. She struck a deal to star in 2 more original films on the streaming service. No word on how much this deal is worth, but Lindsay is set to star in this Netflix holiday rom-com, Falling for Christmas, this year. Get this premise, okay? Very original. She plays a spoiled heiress who gets amnesia after a skiing accident and meets up with a handsome blue-collared lodge owner.
Wow.
Overboard.
Yeah, that is the plot of Overboard.
Do some people just kind of like the classics? This is kind of a soap opera classic story.
I think there can only be one variable in an equation when it comes to a movie like this. There can't be like multiple, so we need something consistent where we can understand straight out the gate. And then there's one little tiny variable that changes it to make it a totally different movie.
I feel like this is totally insulting. Like, to blue-collar workers, I have to have a head injury to date you? Are you kidding me? Like, there's a lot of great people.
I think she has the head injury.
I know, but I'm saying, like, she had to, forget everything to, give this guy a chance? Like, no.
It's a really good point.
No, don't do me any favors.
I like when
an accident.
Al finds holes in Home Alone and things like that.
He really doesn't.
But what do you think about the resurgence of Lindsay Lohan?
Can I say a comment here that might be unpopular, maybe popular? I have found since Parent Trap, Mean Girls, other things that she's been in, Lindsay Lohan is a great Lohan is a great actress. She is funny.
Great?
I don't know about great.
No, I know. I just said it's unpopular, so you can take your nose out after I'm done.
but
she's not Her timing is good. She's got great presence. She's actually a good little actress. She just got way off course because of what happened, unfortunately. Very excited for her to come back and have a comeback.
Nobody has won an Oscar and said, this goes to the good little actress.
No, but for the child actress, she's a good actress. I stand behind that.
I think you shouldn't, but I do think the bigger thing that we can learn from Lindsay, and this is the God's honest truth, is that you can always come back. Because we're sitting here talking about her movie and kind of having, but I mean, if somebody had told you 10, 15 years ago that Lindsay Lohan was still going to be upright and functional and working, would you believe them? Like coming from where she came from?
Yeah.
So I think she can be like a real live, inspiration to people that are like, no one's going to want me anymore. I've embarrassed myself on camera. I've done drugs, whatever. You can come back. She is living proof because she was at the brink.
Well, we also have to remember that Lindsay Lohan was a part of that cast of personalities in the early 2000s when paparazzi was like at the absolute peak. So we saw such an amplification of everything that was going on in her life. And now she is a full-grown adult. She's had time to like reflect on her life. She's had several attempts at like, making things the way that she wants to make them, which obviously means coming back into the spotlight, maybe not personally, but definitely professionally. And I think she deserves the opportunity to do it. A lot of people need to see that.
Yeah, and she's someone who can laugh at herself. Just at the end, anyone who can do that, I say your comeback will be 8 times easier because you can laugh at yourself, and that's Lindsay Lohan.
Lohan. Was the math correct? 8 times?
80, yeah.
80 times? No, but I agree with you guys. At the beginning of the story, you're like, oh, Lindsay Lohan, and you kind of laugh about it, right? But the people that she was with during those paparazzi days, a lot of them have fallen hard.
And they've come back, though,
and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, and she, you know what, I'm going to give it up to that good little actress.
Yeah, and think about Paris Hilton, Britney, they're all on a comeback, all 3 of them.
I wouldn't say all 3 of them.
Oh, I would.
Maybe a story for another day. Coming up on DBL, our interview with Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kandi Burris. Oh yeah, that's right. What's in store for the new season and the celebs that can do no wrong, or can they? Why some beloved stars aren't loved by everyone.
Closed captioning provided by
is good at her narrow thing.
We're talking about Lindsay Lohan as a good actress.
She's good at, but she's not versatile.
Like character. Have you ever?
Yeah. But she could do like little rough. I've seen her in other movies where she's terrible because she's outside what she does well. Or you think of an actor like Danielle Day-Lewis who could play any role.
No, she's not a Stanislavski actor.
But what I mean is she's not versatile at all.
I don't know.
She's very good in her little rom-com.
I don't know if she's been given the chance to have a really deep. What's a dark role that she's played, like a drug addict?
Yeah,
that would be interesting to see.
She's terrible.
I don't know.
Well, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Chris watches a lot of, but the bigger.
So do I.
The bigger thing is, I will say this. I think that's missing the bigger point in that she showed a lot of people that you can recover, because for a long time, I was pretty sure that we were going to have to do a very sad story about her, but 10 years ago.
For sure.
I mean, now, Chris, you would know better probably than anybody. Do you consider like Amanda Bynes in that group as well?
That's who I was thinking of.
Right.
That's
no, she's suing for her conservatorship freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, Amanda Bynes, I think, had some serious mental health issues.
Absolutely, and still struggles with that.
Maybe less serious mental health issues.
She had family issues there, too.
She had sort of different things happening, but yeah, Amanda Bynes, very serious.
When you said those 3,
But again, Amanda Bynes, when she was younger, she was a fantastic actress in her little lane.
Right.
Yeah. Very funny.
Listen, really entertaining.
I'm not knocking any of them. They're all on TV.
What up, Patty?
But Jordan just showed me Britney Spears' Instagram.
With the boobs.
Horrendous.
So when you say they're all on the come up, to me, every picture's naked. And she's like rolling around. Did you see Britney Spears'
So what's different from like someone? I know she looks great.
Listen, I understand your side.
Yes,
I know. I'm not disagreeing.
I'm Team Jeff and Chris on
this. I agree.
Sure.
You know,
but I also think she's in a better position than she was when she wasn't allowed to do anything. Agreed. So I think she's in a better position. So coming up is maybe relative, but she's at least under the thumb.
All right, well, enjoy this next block where we're reading negative comments.
Welcome back. There are some celebs out there that can do no wrong, but a recent thread on Reddit has gone viral with people calling out beloved stars they just don't like. Listen, before we start, I think you could do this with just about anybody in today's day and age. And
especially you.
You're calling me a celebrity?
Bravo.
Tori called me a celebrity. First up, me. All right. First up, the Bayhive might come after this person after they said this about Beyonce. Quote, I don't get why everyone is supposed to love her, and if you don't, you're some sort of saintist. I find her music average, nothing groundbreaking, and I don't care about her personally. That was a quote from someone else.
Why are you writing about it?
Because they want attention.
People always jump into like, why? Like clearly that wasn't written like, I don't get it, and move on. Like it felt like deeply seated. Like they've been stewing on it and thinking about it every single day. Like waking up in the morning being like, Beyonce, everybody love her. Why everybody love her? And then for the rest of their day, they're completely consumed by Beyonce and the idea that everybody loves her. And then they find this Reddit thread and they write about Beyonce. And Beyonce has not thought about this person not one time, not nan one.
I don't think it's going to happen either.
We got plenty more examples. One person thinks Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell are a little overrated, writing, quote, everything I have learned about their marriage has been against my will. Wait a second. Tori was nodding her head and Erica spit her drink out.
Super funny.
Super
I'm
true.
sorry. That's
it's super
funny.
true. No one asked for their mattress being rotten and the way they shower their children. It's too much.
It's oversharing.
Too much. I got too much.
Agreed.
Thank you. Troppo in Italian. Troppo. Too much.
Doesn't help. All right. Who doesn't love The Rock? This person who said, quote, I'm so tired of hearing this. I had $7 in my pocket spiel while completely ignoring the fact that he has well-connected wrestling dynasty family and is genetically gifted. That doesn't mean he didn't put into work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He still does.
He's an enormous human being.
And
it takes
giant
work to do that.
And it takes work to also, like, I mean, who's been as famous as him with zero scandals? I mean, zero. I mean, as famous as he is, it's hard to keep that squeaky clean image to do those kids' movies, and he's managed to do it. So shout out to him.
You know who's upset about that? The person who wrote that? He was like homecoming king, and he was the quarterback in high school.
Yeah, he peaked in high school.
And he couldn't figure out how to, you know, when college came, he couldn't figure out how to compete. And he's mad that The Rock had all these natural abilities, and he peaked and just kept peaking. That's who wrote that.
It's true.
Haterade. All right. Next, even Adele has some haters. This person said, quote, I just don't love Adele. I know everyone talks about what an amazing talent she is, but her voice and her songs make me feel down and hopeless.
Those are the best songs.
I'm going to say something about this one. Adele could do no wrong until she did wrong and canceled that Vegas show.
That's what I was going to say.
I feel like people are kind of turning on Adele.
That's what I think. It's because people lost a ton of money on that, and she seemed to not really be ready, but kind of ready. I'm not saying she was wrong.
There's also an airborne pathogen.
I know, but she knew that going in, and she probably should have prepared for that. You know what I'm saying? She knew a week out she couldn't make it. Let those people know. I think you're absolutely right. That was not great for her reputation. And I'm saying I love Adele. I'm not one of those people.
A Vegas residency, and that's, wow.
I feel like I'm wrong with Tori agreeing with me and you guys kind of rolling your eyes. I'm like,
I agree.
All right, finally, wow. Do I read this one out loud? Oprah doesn't have a fan, and this person who said, quote, she doesn't seem very genuine or like she has good intentions.
Oprah's like pillar of her life is completely founded on intentionality.
Absolutely.
Like it's all about intention.
All she does.
Like this is a person who watched the YouTube of her talking about being intentional in everything that she says and does, and specifically chose that word to try to undermine her. Like when she said intention, what does she really mean by that? I don't believe in those intentions. We know your intentions, YouTube stalker. Leave Oprah alone.
We'll be right back. Can't wait to see what you guys wrote.
You didn't win free that one.
We all know that. Amid the attacks in Ukraine by Russia, Ukraine's Minister of Foreign Affairs tweeted that, quote, Russian attacks on a kindergarten and an orphanage are war crimes. Soon after, the United Nations began discussing whether to investigate Russia's actions. Verify viewer Connie wants to know, does the UN have the authority to charge someone with war crimes? So, let's verify. Our sources are the United Nations, the International Criminal Court, Trial International, and Michael Scharf, Dean of the Case Western Reserve University School of Law, who has helped war crimes prosecutors research their cases. The concept of war crimes was created in the late 1800s, and today the UN generally explains it's when a warring party, like a country, systematically targets civilians.
They are not following the laws of war. They are being indiscriminate against the civilian population and military objects.
Trial International tells Verify in a statement that the UN can refer cases to the ICC and help prosecutors gather evidence, but it cannot prosecute cases on its own. The ICC and local court systems can prosecute individuals for war crimes, including the leaders who give the orders or soldiers who follow the commands. So, no, the UN does not have the authority to charge someone with war crimes, but it can make it easier for international prosecutors to make their case. ICC prosecutor Karim A.A. Khan said on February 28th he will open an investigation into the attacks in Ukraine because he believes war crimes and crimes against humanity have been committed. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
She shares platinum success with her girl group Escape. Now one of my favorite housewives, Kandi Burris, is running her family business. Let's just say earlier I fangirled out a lot. Take a look.
Like myself and many of our viewers, we are excited that Escape is coming back together. We're going to expect a performance, I'm sure. Now, what needed to happen? Can you share a story with us? How did the group finally get back together?
We came back together after somebody tried to take our life story without our permission and do a movie about us. So we had not been talking for years, and we finally was like, okay, no way are we going to allow somebody else to do what they want with our life story. So we had to put a stop to that, and in order to do that, we had to come back together and fix it. So we did that, and we are happier. We get along much better now. We're doing shows together, and so it's really cool. We got some more shows coming up in May. You know, I'm excited.
I watched it, girl. I watched Escape get reunited.
You did?
Yeah, I absolutely did,
yes.
Because let me just tell you, first of all, I have to give you your flowers. I feel like I manifested you being here today. Yes, honey, yes. My She Shed studio is kind of loosely based on your home. So that's a little weird. I just want to. It totally.
Her eyes just went.
I have to see it.
I did the upholstery on the She Shed, and that was very much reminiscent of a Kandi Burris moment. So thank you for that. Yes, absolutely.
She also changed her name to yours.
Yes.
That's not weird.
Now that you think I'm a stalker, no, seriously, you're the most aspirational housewife. Okay, a new reason, a new season for The Real Housewives of Atlanta is on the way. So Sheree is back, and Marlo is now an official housewife. Thank God Marlo finally got her peach. But who,
finally.
Exactly. So who from season 14 will be the most talked about housewife, and why?
I personally feel like Sheree, because she had a lot going on in her personal life that is going to play out on the show. And then also, honey, like we've been talking about She by Sheree forever. And, and we're going to finally see if it comes together. It was a few moments where I was like, girl, like you've been waiting all this time now. You better get it together.
So, wait,
so yeah.
Are you saying that there's going to be a fashion show with fashion?
I guess it's safe to say because it was on the blog. Yes, She by Sheree had a fashion show with fashion. Lord, thank you. But Marlo and I, we had some real serious beef that happened this year. It was crazy. I wasn't expecting it because I was really one of the main people who were, you know, rooting for her to get her peach. And I did not think that we would have that type of a falling out.
Marlo.
Yeah, but she definitely has a lot going on. Because, another thing, I guess I could say this, I'm not sure, but, you know, for years we've heard about Marlo's mom, and we finally get to see the woman that she has been talking about all these years. So, yeah. It's a lot happening this season. Yeah.
Wow. All right, well, Candy, we got to get to your new reality show. It's all about your restaurant, the Old Lady Gang. What's the hardest part? We all work in restaurants, about working with family, let alone just coworkers.
We need to know.
Oh my God. Okay, I would say the hardest part is like nobody is supposed to talk back to the Old Lady Gang, and so, but they get to say whatever they want to say, and sometimes they can not be so nice. So let's remind you of that.
Lie, it's a lie. Throw your foot down like I did before.
But the other thing is, it's like I get very sensitive about my family members. So with Todd and I, sometimes that causes an issue. But at the same time, like it's really all about the other people that work in the restaurant because they are crazy.
We can't
That's how I love it. It's our.
Yeah. We will all be watching. We look forward to it. Candy, thank you so much for joining us. Okay, DBL Nation, catch the premiere of Candy and the Gang this Sunday on Bravo. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
President Joe Biden took to the House floor to deliver his first State of the Union address Tuesday night. The president touted the strong economic recovery underway in the U.S. following the pandemic.
We created jobs, lots of jobs. In fact, our economy created over 6.5 million new jobs just last year. More jobs in 1 year than ever before in the history of the United States of America.
So let's verify. Did the American economy gain more than 6.5 million jobs in 2021? And was that the largest increase for a year ever? Our source is the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. According to those figures, at the end of 2020, there were more than 142 million total employees in the U.S. By the end of 2021, that number rose to about 149 million for a total increase of more than 6.6 million jobs. And that is indeed the largest single-year increase since the BLS began reporting the total number of U.S. employees in 1939. So we can verify, yes, the U.S. gained more than 6.5 million jobs in 2021, more than any prior year. But this claim also requires important context. That economic recovery was already well underway before President Biden took office. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds delivered the Republican response, where she blamed Democrats for rising prices.
They plowed ahead anyway, raising the price at the pump by 50% and pushing inflation to a 40-year high.
So let's verify. Are gas prices 50% higher, and is inflation at a 40-year high? Our sources are GasBuddy.com, the U.S. Energy Information Administration, and the Bureau of Labor Statistics. When Biden took office, both GasBuddy and the EIA show the average gallon of gas in the U.S. was about $2.40. Today, both sources say the average price at the pump is $3.60, an increase of exactly 50%. Next, let's look at inflation numbers from the BLS, which tracks the change in prices paid by American consumers compared to 12 months earlier. Prices increased rapidly in the 1980s, but then settled to around 3% for decades until 2021, when we began seeing prices spike again. In January, prices were up 7.5%, the most in 40 years. So it's true. Gas prices are 50% higher, and inflation is at a 40-year high. We fact-checked more claims about the State of the Union and Republican response at verifythis.com. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. On Friday, the Paralympics will kick off in Beijing, and the U.S. team representing Team Toyota is proof that no matter the fall, you can always get back up. The following is sponsored by Toyota Motors. Take a look.
Adversity comes in many forms. It can be an uncontrollable hardship.
I grew up with one brother and a single mother, and I actually grew up in a trailer.
It can be an unexpected misfortune.
My journey to snowboarding oddly came from being hit by a car and having my left leg amputated.
Or it can be a calculated difficulty.
I'll be 50 years old when I go to the Paralympic Games.
No matter the type of adversity, there is one thing for certain. You can allow it to make you.
I feel like I'm living the impossible.
When I first tried this, I skied straight down the mountain, crashed at the bottom, and then said, hell yeah, this is for me.
Or you can allow it to break you.
It's not always smiles and parades and gold medals. I have hard moments and hard days.
I feel like I still haven't hit my peak. I still feel like I'm learning.
I've got all the butterflies, all the anxiety, and the self-doubt starting to creep in.
But when you defy the odds, you learn that dreams really do come true.
It's good enough for the gold.
Being sponsored by Toyota is like the dream. It's like, oh, that's the goal. I finally made it.
My last lap of any race is always dedicated to my mom, but the second to the last lap that is dedicated to only Team Toyota family.
And you influence the change you need.
The Paralympic movement means a lot to us. They're giving us feedback how we make mobility products and tools to help them do better in their sports.
And most importantly, you inspire generations to come with the hopes of taking home gold.
I'm feeling very prepared. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really strong.
I know I can win. I just have to go out there and I have to do it.
And Toyota has a $5 million stipend and scholarship program for these incredible athletes. I said million, and I almost giggled at myself the way I said it. But yes, incredible athletes.
Yeah, one of them is Danielle Umstead. She's a flag bearer for the opening ceremonies this year. She is blind, and she skis 70 miles an hour down the hill, and her husband is her guide. And she full trusts him and kills him.
I can't even walk to the bathroom with the lights off in my bedroom. Yeah. You know, I have to turn the app on.
What?
I mean, that's, you know, I was looking at, his name just drew my eye, but Rico Roman, he is also a Purple Heart military veteran from Iraq. So it's kind of cool to have a nice, you know, mantle with a gold medal and a Purple Heart. Everybody's got that, right? What a life. He's such a young guy. What a life.
Incredible athletes. Looking forward to that. And we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, same time, same place. See you there.